Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, man. I haven't posted on this channel in over a month, so hopefully some of you guys are still watching, but a lot of you guys have been tagging me in this video called The Myth That LeBron Had an Easy Path to the NBA Finals. So before I even give my opinion, let me start to dive into this video and see what points my boy Mike Korzemba makes. I will leave the link to the original video in the description if anybody wants to see. Make sure y'all drop a like for me, and let's get right into this.
Recently, when it comes to LeBron James and the 2020 NBA Championship, people have been talking and it hasn't been good. We've seen many in both the mainstream media and on social media come to the same conclusion, that because both the Clippers and Bucks were bounced from the playoffs earlier than they should have been, LeBron has now been gifted a championship this year. This ring has been handed to him. Well, I am here to tell you that that is absolutely ridiculous. So what's up, guys? Mike here, and today we are going to dispel the myth that LeBron has been handed a championship.
All right, so before we go any further, let me give my opinion on it before I hear what Mike says. First of all, there's never an easy championship. Otherwise, every team would win it. You know, if it was easy, anybody would do it. It's never easy. There's always obstacles. Now, the one thing that people, like he said, people like to say, oh, the Clippers got knocked out, or the Bucks got knocked out, or this team got knocked out, that team got knocked out. What does the Lakers have to do with that? Like, the Lakers took care of business. They were waiting for the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, and the Clippers choked. That's not the Lakers' fault. Also, you have to realize the NBA playoffs is a 7-game series, right? So it's not like, oh, they just got lucky. They won, you know, like March Madness. You see upsets all the time because anyone could win one game. In a best-of-7 series, the better team wins 9 out of 10 times. So if the Clippers got beat or the Bucks got beat, odds are, despite what the roster says on paper, most likely they got beat by a better team. I know, oh, but they got Kawhi and Paul George and Pat Bev and Montrezl Harrell and 6th Man of the Year and this, that, and all, and that's fine. That's stuff on paper. When they get on the court, that's all that matters. It's not the Lakers' fault that these other teams got knocked out of the playoffs. The Lakers did what they had to do. But let's see what Mike says.
This year, because this narrative has to go away. As you are about to see, a lot of people have hated on LeBron's run to the finals this year, which is weird because those same people were claiming that this was about to be a very difficult finals to win, or that the Clippers would win the championship just a few months ago.
If the Lakers got beat by the Rockets and the Clippers ended up beating the Nuggets and then the Clippers went on to win the championship, would these same people still be saying it's an easy path to the title? Or would they be saying the complete opposite? You can't change the narrative just because your team lost.
Before we get into that, though, I do want to say, please hit the like button right now. It helps out a ton with YouTube's algorithm, and you guys have been awesome.
I got you, Mike. I'll drop Mike a like. Y'all drop me a like. Everybody's happy.
With likes lately, thank you so much for that. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. I promise the next video I have coming up is a great one. You're not gonna want to miss it. And with that said, speaking of great ones, okay, that was kind of lame, whatever. LeBron is of course one of the all-time NBA greats, and depending who you ask, some consider him to be the greatest player of all time. However, throughout his career so far, people have certainly found a way to nitpick LeBron's incredible success. For instance, we've heard the argument that LeBron has always been in the NBA Finals because of how easy the East has been, but now that he's in the West and he's in the NBA Finals, no one is really giving him credit for that.
LeBron's only in the finals because the East this week goes to the West. He's in the finals. Now it's easy in the West. Like, come on. Come on, it's almost comical at this point.
Moving on, again, I am not comparing Michael Jordan and LeBron. I am not doing it. That is not the point of this video. What I will say, though, is that when other people compare Jordan and LeBron, people love to point out that Mike never played in a Game 7 of the finals and that LeBron has had trouble closing out teams in the playoffs. I say this because for some reason, it appears that after a season where LeBron has crushed every team he has faced and won every series in 5 games so far, people have changed their way of thinking and have gone gone from saying, wow, LeBron can't close out a playoff series quickly, he always takes unnecessary losses, to LeBron has had an easy path to the title this year because he's won every series in 5 games. Obviously, that means the teams he has played are just not that good. This is a classic example of changing the narrative, and when it comes to LeBron this season, that has been happening a lot, as you certainly are going to see in this video. And the thing is here, aside from the media just wanting something to talk about, I don't understand why this is happening at all. The simple facts are that LeBron is 35 years old and is still the best player in the NBA. Meanwhile, the Lakers, aside from Anthony Davis, certainly do not have an overpowered team. We could get more into that. We could talk about the fact that teams such as the Clippers had more overall talent and depth on their roster, but
for sure, and I said that consistently throughout the season. If you're looking at the rosters on paper, the Clippers have the more individually talented roster player for player if you go all the way down the list. But that's not always what matters in basketball. You have to have players that fit their roles. Players like Caruso, what Rondo did in the playoffs, like these dudes fit the role that the Lakers needed. Even though on paper, if you put them up head to head against someone on the Clippers, you might say the Clippers have the better player, but it's about filling roles, especially when you have 2 superstars like Bron and AD.
But that is not the point of this video. Yes, this is not the most talented roster that LeBron has played on, but what I want to focus on here is the actual path. I want to look at the teams that LeBron has played in the playoffs this season and discuss why nothing was easy here.
Let's break down the path,
because just dominant. So, first up on LeBron's path to a championship this season was, of course, the Portland Trailblazers. Now, headed into this series, a lot of people believed that a red-hot Damian Lillard was going to be a problem.
This is what we heard. This is what we heard. The hottest team in the bubble. Remember when the Clippers, they basically tried to lose to the Blazers to make sure that the Blazers could get the 8th seed? Y'all forgot about that now, didn't you? I'm pretty sure the Blazers actually ended up beating the Clippers, even though the Clippers tried to lose the game. But there was reports that like Clippers players wanted the Blazers to play the Lakers because they felt like the Blazers could beat the Lakers. They were literally the hottest team. They were finally healthy. Dame, CJ, Melo, Nurkic, like they had a very talented team. We saw what happened.
For the Lakers.
Especially after they won game 1. Charles Barkley and other people were predicting that Charles Barkley said the Blazers would sweep the Lakers, and a lot of other analysts picked the Blazers to upset the Lakers. But then after the Lakers dispatched of them, it was, oh, it's an 8th seed. It's an easy. Come on, man. You can't change the narrative like that. At least give a little bit of credit.
Just averaged 51.3 points per game in the final 3 games of the bubble, so people thought the Lakers were simply not going to be able to stop it. And the evidence of this is right here. Let's listen to what some of the experts had to say about LeBron and the Lakers before this series began, and let's remember what those same people have been saying after the fact.
Only team that I could see possibly getting a game is because they got a guy that can get hot and go for 50, 60, and that's Dame. That's the Blazers.
The Lakers should be worried, and they should be scared, because who the heck gonna guard Dame?
I know I'm gonna sound crazy when I say this. Portland Trailblazers are gonna win the series. They're going to sweep the Lakers. Sweep! I'm telling you.
So yes, as you can see, a lot of people believed in the Blazers here, and after the Blazers won game 1 of this series, things got even worse.
Sweep! He said it's
Exactly what I just said, man.
If the Blazers won.
And especially because, like you said, Dame was averaging, 51 a game for the last 3 games of the regular season, and the Lakers did not have Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley didn't come to the bubble because of personal reasons. So you have that combined with the Lakers missing their best perimeter defender, on-ball perimeter, defender for small guards like Dame.
One game, go on to sweep the Lakers.
Los Angeles would proceed to win the next 4 games, and LeBron would finish this series averaging a triple-double with 27.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 10.2 assists per game. Remember, this was against a Blazers team that was supposed to be one of the most dangerous 8 seeds of all time.
And that's not even the broom. If you break that one, Shaq, I tell you, man, that's not even the cheap broom.
Continuing on, we have the Houston Rockets, a team that people said had a shot to beat the Lakers because of their potential to get hot and have huge 3-point shooting games. And
I don't know if y'all remember, after the Rockets won game 1, people were talking about how PJ Tucker was the AD stopper. He was the Anthony Davis stopper. Come on. And
yeah, they also had 2 former.
And again, they have 2 just ridiculously explosive guards, and we don't have Avery Bradley. The narrative was, how are we going to guard two perimeter players that are former MVPs?
MVPs as their starting guards. Here's what the media had to say about the Rockets during the regular season up until before the second round began.
Who's the biggest threat to these LA teams?
It's the Houston Rockets.
I want the Lakers and the Clippers and all LA conference finals. Guess what is threatening to mess this up?
I think the Rockets are special. They are the most threatening team, I think, to the LA teams.
Skip, they can shoot you out of the gym.
So again, the Rockets were supposed to be this dangerous team, and again, after a Game 1 loss, people went crazy and said that this was going to be a series where LeBron could potentially choke and damage his legacy. He didn't. LeBron instead decimated the Rockets as the Lakers won in 5 games, with LeBron averaging 25.8 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 7.4 assists. Which brings us to the Western Conference Finals, the Denver Nuggets, and I am excited for this part because of these clips about the Los Angeles Clippers.
Which team in LA is the better bunch?
I have a hard time picking against the Clippers.
Who do you think's gonna win the West this year?
Clippers.
Clippers or Lakers?
Clippers.
I think it's the Clippers championship to lose this year.
The Clippers are the best team in basketball.
The Clippers are loaded.
I believe in my friend Doc Rivers.
I have reservations about LeBron being a closer in his 17th year.
Yes, many people believe that the Los Angeles Clippers were going to win the championship this season, but they didn't even reach the Western Conference Finals. They lost to the Denver Nuggets despite the fact that every single one of ESPN's experts predicted that the Clippers would win this series.
For those of you that follow me on Twitter, man, you guys already know. If you don't know, just go look at my Twitter feed.
And for some reason, this has hurt LeBron. Why? I don't know. The Lakers and LeBron took care of business throughout the Western Conference playoffs. They beat the teams they were supposed to, which should only be a positive thing for LeBron. The fact that the Clippers lost before they got to the Lakers means that LeBron did his job and proved that he has the experience, he has the ability to rise up when the games matter the most, and the Clippers do not. The Nuggets did have this ability, however, and would you look at that? LeBron beat them in 5 games, averaged almost a triple-double again, and closed out the Western Conference Finals with an absurd 38-point, 16-rebound, 10-assist performance. He annihilated the team that beat the team that was supposed to beat him. He should earn some major points here. And I don't want to hear that the Nuggets were tired and that the Lakers were rested. That was supposed to be the narrative for the Clippers versus the Nuggets, as the Nuggets went to 7 games against the Jazz and looked
same exact situation
gassed in that Game 7. Only Denver was able to rebound from this and still beat the Los Angeles Clippers. As for the Lakers, again, utter annihilation. Which means, when it comes down to it here, it is LeBron who again took care of business when he needed to at the age of 35. It is LeBron who has proven to still be the best player in the world while leading his team to the NBA Finals. It is LeBron who did not have an easy path in the playoffs this season. He had a dominant one. Let's not get this twisted here. Let's make it simple. People doubted LeBron this season, as we have seen. People thought the Lakers had a chance to lose as early as the first round of the playoffs. Instead, LeBron has led his team to 3 straight 5-game series victories, and because of this, because he has been so good while teams like the Clippers and Bucks failed to meet expectations, now people are saying this was an easy run to the NBA Finals. That is not how it works. You play the team that is in front of you, and when you dominate them the way that LeBron has, we should do nothing more than celebrate LeBron's greatness, because that has been what LeBron has been this postseason. Truly
is what we call revisionist history, where you just look back and it's like, man, none of those teams had a chance. But at the time, many people were picking those teams over the Lakers. Then you look back and now it's, oh, they had an easy path. You can't, man, give respect where respect is due. Just like LeBron said after they won the chip, and I want my damn respect. Give the Lakers their respect. I understand, it's one of the biggest franchises in the world of sports and whatnot. And there's always going to be haters out there. But anyone that likes basketball, give respect where respect is due, man. They deserve it. But hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Drop a like. Subscribe if you guys are new. Let me know what y'all think. Did the Lakers have an easy path? Did LeBron have an easy path? Or did they deserve their respect for getting the job done, man? I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.